Here is pack 2. I think the pick has got to be Arc Trail. Can kind of be 2-for-1 removal. Earlier I talked about how I didn't like Grand Architect, and part of that was my problem. I didn't fully understand Grand Architect. It can be pretty powerful ramp into a lot of things. Revoke Existence, someone's getting a nice card there. Same with the Surcharge. But Arc Trail, we know we're going to play the Blast. Might as well get another red. If we're splashing, make the splash worth it. And I don't know if we're playing green. The Cis Bearer was probably the worst pick so far. Because I was thinking maybe Infect is the way we want to go, and as we've gone on, that's kind of become clear that it was not the way we want to go. So I maybe the Iron Mirror. Mana Mirror are always a good play. Throne of Gath is nice. I have seen Glimmerpoint Stag used with tumble magnets and all sorts of things. It can be pretty mean. Acid Web Spider is also, I'm a fan of it. And if he got an Acid Web Spider down, how do we even get past it? Well, Rusted Relic, or the Golem wouldn't get past it. Well, maybe an equipped Golem. I don't know. I'm okay taking the Iron Mirror. And the Tunnel Ignis. Well, that's not really what we want. Darksteel Sentinel can be a nice surprise combat trick. Had some good luck with that. The Life Staff, again, it's cheap equipment. Heavy Arbalist is repeating removal, but it just costs so much to do that. Replica could give us a little bit more card draw. I think we go with the Sentinel. Depending on the deck, if it's an Infect deck, Sentinel's not going to help us a whole lot. If it's some other deck, Sentinel can just shut a deck down. And here, probably the best card available is Glinthawk. Semblance Anvil, we're just not going to have enough to make that worth it. And we're really all over on the colors here. I'm not sure anything else would make our deck, so I think taking the Glinthawk. We're spreading ourselves thin across the colors, but we're also leaving our options open, and really our main color is going to be colorless. Rustic is pretty good removal, or pseudo removal. That would probably be the play here. And I like Painsmith, especially in a deck that has this many artifacts. I like Plague Stinger. We haven't really. I mean, we have some removal that we could get rid of Plague Stinger. I think Painsmith is a better play for our deck. We're probably not going to be a Infect deck. Bleak Cove and Vampires can be a nice surprise. If you get to Metalcraft and they think that they're safe, and then boom, there goes a bunch of your life. Contagious Nim is probably the pick here, just because someone else will play it if we don't take it. And the Kadolthor Rebirth, if we had some free artifacts, sometimes that can be a nice little trick to get 3 creatures out early. Blister Grub, like a lot in this format. often is unblockable because a lot of people are playing black. On-color Spellbomb is maybe the play. Grasshopper. Yeah, we'll take the Spellbomb. And then Vector Asp, Tyranix, Archers. I'll take the Vector Asp. Even if we aren't playing Infect, we're probably vulnerable to Infect. I mean, I think everyone's vulnerable to Infect. It just hits you so fast. At this point, the thing that I don't like about our deck is I have this Prototype Portal, but I don't have a whole lot that I want to put on it. Rustic could be interesting. Grind Clock could be interesting. Rusted Relic could be interesting. But outside of that, you know, you don't want to. Well, I guess you could put a Spell Bomb on it and draw an extra card every turn. It would be pretty cheap. I've never thought of a Prototype Portal in that way. Now this is an interesting one. Embersmith, probably going to have a lot of triggers for our Embersmith because we have a lot of artifacts. So get him out, we can be pinging, or do we say we want to make sure we can take care of their big answer with the Grasp of Darkness? I am inclined to go with the Grasp of Darkness because the Embersmith is so vulnerable that if he has a Foom Spitter, he kills our Embersmith without us getting much play out of it, whereas the Grasp of Darkness is always going to give us, you know, there's always something that you want to kill. If there's not, you're winning. You know, the game's over. So, you here, Turn to Slag is probably the pick. Wouldn't mind having the Golem. Mirror Galvanizer. Wouldn't mind even having Pinions. But yeah, Turn to Slag. Some more removal. And even more removal with our Galvanic Blast. We're going to be probably light on creatures, is what I'm feeling at this point. Here, Missouri, if you get him early, you can draft a pretty good elf deck. If you get him late, it's just, you know, oh, wonderful, here's a useless creature who can, you know, he can become a 5/5 if I cast or pay a ton each turn. Memnite versus Wall of Tanglecord. Arrest is also pretty good. Well, it's great, but I don't know, we play the color. I think the Memnite, we want our Blast to get to Metalcraft as quickly as we can. Especially now that we are playing 3 of them. Wow. So we are removal heavy and light on just about everything else. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 creatures. If the Vervivore, whatever, got trample when you did that, that would be something differently. I'll take the Sisbear. I don't know if we're even going to play green. We probably will not. Turn to Slag is another removal spell. The thing, now that we have this grafted exoskeleton, which I think I have to take, it kind of can push us back into, if we want to, an Infect deck. With all of our removal, if we get an Infector out there, we're probably going to be attacking unfettered for a certain amount of time. Untamed Might, probably take that away just so someone else doesn't get it. Flesh Allergy. It's another possibility. Actually, Untame might, if we're playing the Infect, it might even make our deck. Here, the one that's been most useful against me is a Golem Foundry. And it takes the right deck for it to actually be useful. Lots of times it's just a very slow 3/3 creature. But in some decks, I've seen them, you know, they get a Contagion Clasp or something like that, and they're proliferating all over. And oh, you're proliferating everywhere. Let's take turn aside. We have so many removal spells that we don't want them to be able to counter them. And that's the end of the picks. I'm going to stop this again, trying to get our videos short enough to fit on YouTube, and I'll be back for deck building.